Howdy folks, Super Cooper here, and this is Yoshi's Crafted World, the demo version. I wanted to cover the demo version before the game came out, just to talk about it, just to talk about my thoughts before the game is released. I'm going to be taking a break from recording some of my Let's Play of Kirby Star Allies to play through this game once it comes out. I might try to get some parts recorded in between, but uploads are going to slow down once the game comes out. So I thought I'd play through the demo and sort of share my thoughts as I go along. I had to re-download it because I hadn't had it downloaded before. And so I had already pretty much beaten this first level, but I'm just going to play through it again. You can choose a Yoshi. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even see that the last time. So this is pretty much like Yoshi's. If you've played Yoshi's Woolly World, this is a very similar concept, although they throw in a few curveballs. The first being that instead of everything being made of yarn, everything is made of crafts. So they took it just a step further. You can make eggs again, which I'm very happy to see the return of. It's not that the yarn balls in Woolly World were bad, per se, but they were definitely different. And one of the most iconic thing about Yoshi is his eggs, so not really having eggs in Woolly World, aside from when you see transformations, is a little unfortunate. I would have loved it more if they had yarn eggs. It'd be cool to see if somebody, because I know people mod with the Wii U, it'd be cool to see if somebody made a mod for yarn eggs. But it's not the end of the world. But it's still the basic type of Yoshi controls. You inhale Shy Guys and other enemies. And you just keep going and doing your thing. The egg throw controls are actually really good in this game, compared to what they used to be in some of past Yoshi games. And you still have your hearts. That's your system of health. A lot of this is just borrowed from Yoshi's Crafted World and past Yoshi games. But the level design is a little bit different than those games. It's a little bit less linear. There's more areas where you can kind of explore a little bit. And I say explore in quotes because it's a bit limited in terms of what you can actually do to explore. It's not free roaming, but there are more little side areas. Whereas in Yoshi's Woolly World compared to Crafted World, they didn't really have a whole bunch of those. Still have your egg boxes. And there's more dimensions to this game. It's not just strictly 2D side-scroller. It's sort of 2.5D in that sense. There's some 3D perspective and the different layer perspectives. There's a bunch of puzzles along the way, but nothing overly difficult. And I've got full hearts, so I don't really have to worry about enemies being that much of a problem. And now, the train's broken down. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys the cutscene for that, because I've already played through this. I probably should have just deleted my demo data before I played this. But yeah, the train's broken down. Magic Koopa's responsible, as you can see by the different shapes surrounding that hue. I mean, people already know that the main enemies are Baby Bowser and Magic Koopa, so that's not really spoiling much of anything. The main plot is still yet to be seen. As far as gameplay is concerned, though, which is primarily what I wanted to talk about, it does feel very smooth. It runs at a consistent 60 frames a second, and it really enhances the visuals of this game. I don't think this game would look as good running at 30. You see trailers of it in 30, but when you're actually playing it at 60, it is beautiful. It really is. And for some reason, my lighting isn't the greatest, so that's a little bit of a letdown. I wish I could show you guys in better lighting as I see it, but it's slightly darker on the recording side. But the levels do offer a lot of little hidden secrets and areas to explore, and I really think that that's a good thing, because In the past, with Yoshi games, it's sort of a straight line. And with this, there's actual small areas that you can explore. We can throw the different parts on. Alright, so we only have one more part to get. If I remember correctly, that part is down to the far right. The omnidirectional egg throwing is actually really cool, allowing you to throw at different perspectives. Unfortunately, one thing I'm seeing is that you can't spit enemies back out, at least not standard enemies that can turn into eggs. I can't reach that. There's some red coins and stuff, but I already collected all of the red coins. Again, a lot of this is stuff that I've already done, and unfortunately this game, the demo version, doesn't allow you to start new files. But you guys get the idea. This first level is very, very simple. Here we have the train. Let's go. My main concern with this game was that the world was going to look too crafty and not like a real world. But if you look at the backgrounds, it's not like, oh, it's just in somebody's basement. It really looks like a world. And because of that, I feel a lot better about this. When they first premiered the game before it had the title Crafted World, I was a bit concerned about the aesthetic. But the more I've played it and the more I've seen it, they've definitely fleshed out the worlds to where they look like actual worlds, even if they are made of crafts. Sort of like how Woolly World did it with Yarn, and it feels very seamless. The Gold Gate is a little ugly, but that's a minor complaint. Traditional Yoshi house in the background, but it's made out of toilet paper rolls and some sort of paper. Looks like just craft paper. But I got everything. Full hearts. I got all the coins. 100%. Which is not a big thing for me. But there is one more thing I want to showcase before we end off the video here. Find Poochie Pups. And this is called Flipside. This is the brand new feature, and one of the features that they're touting with this game is the flip side levels, which is you can play through a level normally, and then once you finish it, you can go through it backwards. And I'm not sure if it's only finding Poochie Pups, or if they have you doing objectives in later levels. I don't know. This is only the very first, as far as I'm concerned, this is the very first level of the game, excuse me. So, it's very basic in that sense. But it gives you an idea sort of how the mechanic works. You just play through things backwards. The goal is where the start previously was. You have to collect 3 of these Poochie Pups. It's the same world you're going through. You can throw the Poochie Pups and they bounce. They come back to you. They work like eggs. Got some red eggs here. I'm pretty sure those are eggs that do more damage or have some special ability. The colored eggs have different meanings. If you're familiar with Yoshi lore and past games, you can probably figure out what they do. I can't remember off of the top of my head. Alright. So now the rest of the Poochie Pups are going to be further down the line, I believe. I don't think there's any more in this area. There's that same checkpoint. And it does kind of mess with your brain seeing the level in a reverse perspective, because you're seeing things that you really weren't seeing before. I love how you can throw these guys and they're absolutely fine. funnily enough, I haven't taken any damage. But if this game follows most Yoshi traditions, then at some point in the full game, it's going to ramp up. As I've been playing through Woolly World, that's certainly been the case. There are some levels that are a cakewalk, but then going through others is just difficult. That's all 3 Prucci pups. Now we just gotta make it to the goal. There we go. And that is just adorable. So that is the demo of Yoshi's Woolly World. There's not a whole lot to it, but in terms of a demonstration of how the game is going to work going forward, it's pretty standard stuff for the Yoshi series. It's just the new aesthetic and the flip side worlds. I think the mechanics work really, really well. And I think the level design is going to be very fun and interesting and different. And there's actually, I think there's a demo movie here when you go back. I thought something triggered an ending video, but I guess not. But anyways, my final thoughts on this. It's a great game. I'm very excited to get it tomorrow. If I can manage to beat it, I'm going to Let's Play it at some point. Obviously after Kirby's done. But I am very excited for this game to release. I think it's going to be a very solid release. It's not very different for a Yoshi game. There's a couple new elements. So some people might find it a little bit samey. But if you like that style of gameplay, then I think there's a lot to offer here. And a lot of people are going to buy it just based on the adorable aesthetics. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely adorable. So, I think on that alone, people are going to really buy it. And I think it's going to be worth people's money for sure. A lot of people are going to say, this is worth $60. I already have Woolly World on my Wii U or on my 3DS. It's like, well, it's still a different game in a lot of ways. And you can tell they're going out of their way to make sure that this is a spiritual successor to Woolly World, as opposed to some sort of direct sequel. So, it'll be interesting. But my final thoughts, great game. Can't wait to play the full thing. Very excited for tomorrow. Alright guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about the game. If you played the demo or if you played the game as it's released, let me know. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Super Koopa, and I will see you guys next time. God bless. Have a good one. Peace.